Hi and welcome to your 7th tutorial on John Steinbeck's Of Mice and Men, and in this tutorial we're going to look at our first impressions of Crooks. So this will be our last tutorial on first impressions of characters, and we've left Crooks till last because although he is a minor character, he's very important in terms of some of the main themes of the novel and the message that Steinbeck is trying to get across to his reader. So anyway, here's our first impression of Crooks. His body was bent over to the left by his crooked spine, and his eyes lay deep in his head, and because of their depth, seemed to glitter with intensity. His lean face was lined with deep black wrinkles, and he had thin, pain-tightened lips. So the first thing that we notice about Crooks is that he's crippled. Now, Steinbeck could have portrayed him this way in order to make the reader feel sorry for him. I mean, let's face it, the other guys don't particularly show any kindness towards him, and he really is the lowest of the low in terms of their concerned on the ranch. Even compared to Candy, Crooks' status is much, much lower. But he isn't an easy character to sympathise with because he's actually quite a mean character, and so his crooked spine could also represent his sort of crooked character. He's kind of bitter and twisted, and we see this when we see him being mean to Lenny later on. The next thing to notice about Crooks is that his eyes lay deep in his head. Now, Crooks is a very intelligent guy, and he's got a lot to say, but unfortunately, because of the time and place that he lives, he's not able to speak openly about his true feelings because he's segregated from everybody else. So he has to keep his thoughts to himself. So the eyes lying deep in his head could almost suggest that he's a very inward-looking character. Now, because of their depth, his eyes seem to glitter with intensity. Now, the glitter in Crooks's eyes and their intensity could suggest his cleverness. We often talk about when somebody gets an idea, you can almost see it in their eyes. There's a sort of glitter, a spark in their eyes. But his glitter is intense, which could suggest that it's not able to get out. So his feelings, his ideas are kind of building up inside him, and perhaps in some ways can become quite extreme because he can't actually speak openly about it. Okay, and the final thing about Crooks is that he has thin, pain-tightened lips. Now, Crooks's lips are pain-tightened because he is in physical pain. When we first meet him, he's rubbing some ointment into his back, probably to sort of loosen up his muscles and ease the pain a little bit. But it can also suggest the sort of pain of loneliness, not being able to speak to anyone. His lips are tightened, so can't speak, and it's painful, sort of emotionally, not being able to relate to other people on the ranch or the other people that live and work around him. So, in conclusion, what we can say about Crooks is that he does represent racial inequality in America during the Great Depression, but he's not a sympathetic character. He's become bitter and twisted, like his own spine, because of his loneliness. Now, we will talk about Crooks a little bit later on when we look at dreams and when we look at setting as well, and try to unpick some of the ideas that Steinbeck is trying to get across through this character. But that's it for this tutorial. You can download the resources as always at lulu.com/spotlight/schoolfrog, and do go and check out our blog at schoolfrog.blogspot.co.uk. Okay, thanks very much for watching. If you're enjoying these tutorials, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time when we start to look at the theme of